Alrighty. Okay, give me a second here. Somebody's just asking me how to get in, so I'm just going to send them the link. Okay. Alrighty, here we go. Oh. There we go. Lemon in your water today, hooray. Hang on a second. Got a few more people coming in, so let's give us a second. We've got bergamot and stress away, peppermint and wintergreen, rosemary, valor, frankincense, and stress away, right? All day long. Lovely. Awesome. Okay. Well, we're going to go ahead and get started, and people can just hop on in when they are ready to go. I'm going to quickly disable the waiting room here so people can just pop on when they need to. All right, so welcome everyone. It's a pleasure to have everybody on. Tonight we're going to be talking about how to build a healthy home, specifically talking about toxic burden overload on our bodies and how switching to a plant-based series of cleaners and personal care products can really help lighten that load, and just to expose some of you that are maybe new to Young Living to those products. So without further ado, let us go ahead and share my screen, and I will start to teach you all about all the good things. Alrighty, so this is actually a PowerPoint that you have access to in your Young Living account under member resources. It's called Your Healthy Home PowerPoint. So you can go ahead and access this. If you need to know exactly where it's at, you can contact me. But it's in the Young Living University, okay? So we're going to be talking about reducing the impact of toxic chemicals on our bodies. What you can expect is to learn about why some of these chemicals are harmful, highlight some of the key toxic chemicals, how they affect us and where they can be found, discuss some simple strategies to begin to detoxify your home, see why reducing toxic chemicals is an attainable goal and one you should start today. All right, so do you remember when there was once a time when the safest place on earth for a person was their home? Today, we live in an environment that is fundamentally different than that of 50 years ago. In many ways, the world is better. Our children live longer, healthier lives than the children of any previous generation. Thanks to safe drinking water, better education, decent housing, and modern medicine, children no longer face polio, smallpox, measles, yellow fever, cholera, and other infectious diseases. Infant mortality is therefore greatly reduced. But we have our own issues. Whether we like it or not, chemicals are all around us and are increasing in places we would have never imagined. Chemical substances are part of everyday life and are a major part of our economy, our communities, and our homes. While chemical substances provide some benefits, they do also have harmful effects if not properly managed. There are some places where toxic chemicals are causing serious problems. So food has changed. It's different than it was before, and it's no longer as pure. So we now have tons of foods that are processed, and they contain chemicals and toxic substances such as aspartame, high fructose corn syrup, MSG, food coloring, preservatives, polysorbate 60, butylated hydroxinol, and so many more. Did you know that Health Canada has an agency called the Bureau of Chemical Safety? Their primary object is to ensure that chemicals are not present in foods at levels that would pose an unacceptable risk to health. These include chemicals in food additives, food packaging and materials, and incidental additives, food allergens, and food contaminants. So incidental additives would be like chemical A plus chemical B equals chemical C. And so chemical C was never added, but it was created as a result of a chemical, synthesis going on between A and B. So that is what we would call incidental additives. One division of this bureau is the Toxicology Research Division. They identify and investigate potential health hazards associated with chemical contaminants, including those of environmental origin, agricultural chemicals, natural food toxicants and constituents, and food additives. Research is carried out on the carcinogenic, mutagenic, reproductive, neurotoxic, which is affecting your neurology, and other potentially harmful effects of these chemicals, including alterations to the immune system. Okay, so tell me a story. If we didn't have chemicals inside our food, we wouldn't need this bureau. So why does this bureau even exist? It should not. And why do these government agencies exist if there wasn't a risk? Let's learn more. Go back to share my screen here. Just wanted to make sure nobody's waiting in the waiting room. All right. So even our yards are different than those of the past. They no longer are grown by just the sun and the rain. The Health Canada has a sub-agency called Pest Management Regulatory Agency. Their mandate is to protect human health, safety, and the environment by minimizing risks associated with pesticides. I'd like to read to you one of the main areas of concern for the toxicological evaluation section of this agency. I quote, "The toxicological evaluation sections, so fungicides, herbicides, insecticides, antimicrobials, identify possible human health effects of pesticides and establish the levels at which humans can be exposed to the products without any harm. Studies assessed include short and long-term carcinogenicity, which is the capacity to cause toxicity, which is the capacity to damage chromosomes, that's in your DNA, and teratogenicity, which is the capacity to produce fetal malformations, among others." So guys, they know this bad stuff is happening. And what they're trying to do is just pass it underneath a level that is not considered toxic or fatal in the small amount that is included in that particular one product. Our homes are filled with chemicals. In our cleaners, our personal care products, our cosmetics, our pots, and our pans. Let's be clear. Yes, we are made up of chemicals, and essential oils are chemicals, but I'm not talking about those chemicals. We are talking about the harmful chemicals that can negatively impact our health and our environment. Whether we like it or not, chemicals are all around us in places we would have never imagined. So now we're going to talk about the Dirty Dozen. There is a handout on your member resources. If you ever want to print this out and bring it with you as a little experiment the next time you go to the grocery store, feel free to do so, because it's going to be very enlightening for you to read the ingredients and go like, oh ho ho, I had no idea that there would be all these crazy bad ingredients in all of these products. So let me just introduce you to some of the names, and at a very high level, where they are used and where they are suspected, what they are suspected to do to our bodies and our environment. Okay, so first of all, we have BHA and BHT. These are endocrine disruptors, and they're mostly found in our moisturizer and our makeup as preservatives, but they're harmful to fish and other wildlife. Coal tar dyes, artificial colors, also found in processed foods and lipstick. Look for it's called phenol or phenylene diamine hair dyes, and in other product color lists. Anything that has CI and 5 digits, there's these coal tar dyes in it. So a lot of like hair products have this CI dash like 5,000 or whatever. And so the US color may also be listed. So for example, FD&C blue #1 or blue #2. If it has like blue, a color and a number, then you're talking about coal tar dyes. DEA related ingredients. These are used to make cosmetics creamy and foaming products such as moisturizers and shampoos. It also acts as a pH adjuster. They're found in sunscreens, soaps, cleansers, and shampoo. It is acute toxicity to aquatic organisms and potential for bioaccumulation. Dibutyl phthalate, or DBP, is used mainly in nail products as a nail solvent for dyes and as a plasticizer that prevents nail polishes from becoming brittle. Phthalates are also used as fragrance ingredients in many other cosmetics, but consumers won't find these listed on the label. Fragrance recipes are considered trade secrets, so manufacturers are not required to disclose fragrance chemicals in the list of ingredients. DBP is also commonly used in polyvinyl chloride plastic to render it flexible. Health Canada recently announced regulations banning 6 phthalates, including DBP, in soft vinyl children's toys and childcare articles, but its use in cosmetics is not restricted. So let's just slather it on our faces instead. Take it out of our kids' toys, but go ahead and use it on yourself. Oh my goodness, the irony. Okay, next we have parabens. They're used in a variety of cosmetics as preservatives. They're suspected endocrine disruptors. That means they're bad for your hormones, okay? They mess with your hormones. And they may interfere with male reproductive functions. Parabens are the most widely used preservatives in cosmetics. They are also used as fragrance ingredients, but consumers won't find that listed on the label. So remember, when you see the word fragrance in the list, that is a blanket statement for about 50,000 different chemicals that they don't have to say are in there because it's the trade secret. So if you call the cosmetic company and you say, could you tell me what constituents are in your fragrance? They don't have to tell you. They can say that is our trade secret and we do not have to disclose that information to you. It's not legal that they do. And this is where a lot of problems hit. I don't know about you, but I know a lot of people that anything that has fragrance in it, they immediately get headaches. I wonder why. Okay, formaldehyde releasing preservatives, they're a carcinogen. So these are slowly released small amounts of formaldehyde, which causes cancer. These formaldehyde releasing agents are used as preservatives in a wide range of cosmetics. Other industrial applications of formaldehyde include production of resins used in wood products, vinyl flooring and other plastics, permanent press fabric, and toilet bowl cleaners. So these are all carcinogenic, which means that they cause cancer. Next, we're talking about parfum in French, also known as fragrance. Any mix of fragrance ingredients used in a variety of cosmetics. So even in some products marked unscented, you'll see fragrance ingredients listed, and those can trigger allergies and asthma. Some are linked to cancer and neurotoxicity, and some are harmful to fish and other wildlife. PEG compounds, they can be contaminated with 1.4 dioxane, which may cause cancer. PEGs, they're called polyethylene glycols, are petroleum-based compounds. So there's oil-based compounds that are widely used in cosmetics as thickeners, solvents, softeners, and moisture carriers. PEGs are commonly used as a cosmetic cream base. Petrolatum, aka Vaseline, okay? It's carcinogenic. And here we are slathering it on our baby's bums all day long. Not a good idea. Let's just switch to seedlings, right? We have alternatives. But yeah, it's a mineral oil. It's also called petroleum jelly. And it's used in some hair products for shine, as a moisture barrier on some lip balms, lipsticks, and moisturizers. The European Union classifies petrolatum as a carcinogen and restricts its use in cosmetics. PAHs in petrolatum can also cause skin irritation and allergies. So Europe has banned this, but Canada and the US has not. So if we have any sense, we would make it standard. But that's not what this is all about. So that's why we have to be educated, right? Siloxanes. Look for ingredients ending in the word siloxane or methicone, okay? They're used in a variety of cosmetics to soften, smooth, or moisten. These silicone-based compounds are used in cosmetics to soften, smooth, and moisten. They make hair products dry more quickly and deodorant creams slide on more easily. They are also used extensively in moisturizer and facial treatments. And then sodium lauryl sulfate. This is one you will see in all the things. It's a foaming agent. That's why when we say our dish soap and our laundry soap and our cleaners don't have SLS, sodium lauryl sulfate, it's a big deal because this is in everything. So it is common in shampoos, shower gels, and facial cleaners or cleansers. It's also found in household cleaning products like dish soap. Look also for related chemicals, sodium lauryl sulfate. So there's sodium laureth sulfate, and then there's lauryl sulfate. So RYL versus RETH. Both are bad news. Triclosan. This is the last one in the dirty dozen. Okay, it's an endocrine disruptor. It's an antibiotic resistant. It's one that we should be keeping our eyes wide open for, as everybody and their dog is using hand sanitizer, and triclosan is one of the major ingredients in most hand sanitizers. It's used in antibacterial cosmetics such as toothpaste, cleansers, and antiperspirants. It's suspected as an endocrine disruptor, and the extensive use of triclosan in consumer products may contribute to antibiotic resistant bacteria. So I don't know if you've heard in the past few years, there's kind of been all this rage about like none of our meds are working to kill these, what they call superbugs. None of our antibiotics are working because the superbugs are smart enough to mutate around our antibiotics. Why is that? Because we are training them by using triclosan in our products. We're making them superbugs. And so if we take this triclosan out of the equation, then the bugs are regular and antibiotics can kill them. Of course, we have other options than antibiotics. However, we would greatly help our bodies fight things off if triclosan was not part of the equation of our regular intake of ingredients. Okay. So, like I said, this document is available on the Young Living University, YLU, so you can go ahead and download that if you'd like. Okay, so today we face hazards that are neither known nor imagined a few decades ago. We are at risk of exposure to thousands of new synthetic chemicals. Since World War II, more than 80,000 new chemicals have been invented. Many of these chemicals have been dispersed widely into the environment, and most of these chemicals did not previously exist in nature. Why are these chemicals a threat? Because of they're very easily absorbed. Synthetic chemicals can enter our bodies by ingestion, inhalation, and through the skin. Infants are at risk of exposure in the womb and through breast milk. Environmental Defense tested the umbilical cord blood of 3 anonymous newborns in Toronto and Hamilton, finding a total of 137 chemicals overall. The number of toxins in each baby's cord blood ranged from 55 to 121. The babies aren't even born yet, and they're already got these chemicals that they're fighting. Among the 55 to 121 chemicals found were flame retardants, PCBs, PFCs found in nonstick coatings, and organochlorine pesticides. Many of these chemicals are linked to serious health conditions. 132 are reported to cause cancer in humans or animals. 110 are considered toxic to the brain and the nervous system. And 133 cause developmental and reproductive problems in mammals, the group said. Okay, so they found 137 chemicals in these little babies' bodies. And each of them had between 55 and 121. So this is craziness, people, really. So why else are they very dangerous? Because, one second here. Make sure everybody's muted, okay? Great, thank you. All right, so The other reason is there's mass production. So there's nearly 3,000 chemicals are high production volume chemicals. They're produced in quantities of more than 1 million pounds. Over 4 billion pounds of toxic chemicals are released in the nation's environment every year, including 72 million pounds of recognized carcinogens. Now, there's too little testing. Only a fraction of the H.P.E chemicals have been tested for toxicity. Fewer than 20% have been studied for their capacity to interfere with children's development. Another reason is they have a heavy use of pesticides. In 2013, 59% of Canadian households that had a lawn or garden reported using fertilizers and pesticides. So most of us are using them, but they are not doing us any favors. And then, of course, we have environmental persistence. Many toxic chemicals will persist in the environment for decades or even centuries. So these do not go away. We put them in and then they stay in our soil, or they stay in the air, because there's no way to filter these things out. They don't exist in nature. So our regular filtration systems through the trees and through our ozone and all the natural things that, you know, got put into place to clean the air and clean the soil don't work, because these chemicals were synthetically created, and so nature has a hard time clearing them out. Okay, so we cannot ignore the risks anymore. Some chemicals can be very harmful. Some may harm plants, some may cause very serious illnesses in people such as cancer, and others may be carried long distances through the air and affect people or the environment far away. And that's a statement from the risk assessment overview found at chemicalsubstances.gc.ca. Okay, so what's the potential long-term? Organ damage, weakening of the immune system, reproductive problems and birth defects, effects on the mental, cognitive, or physical development of children, and cancer. So endocrine disruptors are one of the major titles that you're going to see a ton of here. So we're going to review a few of the terms so that you understand what they are as we go through this class. Because you've already heard me say it several times. Maybe you're going like, what the heck's an endocrine disruptor? This is what it is. It's a chemical that interferes with the body's endocrine system and produces adverse developmental, reproductive, neurological, and immune effects in both humans and wildlife. What's a carcinogen? It's identified by their ability to cause cancer in exposed workers and other human populations and in test animals. And then bioaccumulation means to the accumulation of substances such as pesticides and other chemicals. And other chemicals in an organism. Okay. All right. So let's talk about the endocrine system. So first of all, it's a very complicated system. It affects virtually every process of the body. So we're going to do a super quick biology. So put your grade 10 biology hat on, okay? And here we go for the ride. So first of all, we're going to talk about the pineal gland. So the pineal gland is found in your brain way up here. And this produces melatonin, a serotonin-derived hormone, which affects the sleep patterns. Then we have the hypothalamus. This controls your body temperature, your hunger, your thirst, your fatigue, and your sleep. Then we have pituitary gland. This helps control growth, blood pressure, certain functions of the sex organs, thyroid glands, and metabolism, as well as some aspects of pregnancy, childbirth, nursing, kidneys, temperature, regulation, and pain relief. And then we have the thyroid gland, controls how quickly the body uses energy, makes proteins, and controls the body's sensitivity to other hormones. We have the thymus, okay, right here in the immune system. The adrenal glands, they produce hormones, including sex hormones and cortisol, which helps stress response and many functions. We have the pancreas, which is vital to digestion and control of blood sugar level. So a diabetic, when they are a type 1 diabetic, their pancreas is like a dead organ. It doesn't work anymore. When a type 2 diabetic, what happens is their pancreas doesn't produce enough insulin for the amount of sugar that's in their blood to bring it back to normal levels. And then you have your testicles and your ovaries, which are obviously the male and female reproductive glands. So seeing how this system works, are you comfortable with the uncertainty of the cumulative effects of so many kinds of chemicals? Okay, so this is the thing, friends. There are a ton of issues with this whole problem because we are always inundated with a ton of chemicals day in, day out. So we're not just having one chemical a day. Because think about it. You put on, before you even eat breakfast, chances are you had a shower and you used shampoo and you used soap. And then after that, you came out, you dried yourself off, maybe you put lotion on, a moisturizer on your face or something like that. Maybe you use shaving cream on your legs. I don't know. But all those things have chemicals in them. And the companies, they're testing those chemicals as if you're only going to use that chemical in one day. They're not testing it and saying, okay, chances are she's going to use 20 different products, toothpaste, deodorant, shampoo, conditioner, all the things before she has breakfast. And all of those things together might cause an issue. But no, they're saying, oh, we're only going to measure what's in our product and say that it's safe. And so, that is really the problem here. So, I'm just going to share my screen again, and we're going to go back to that slide quick here. Okay, so we call it the chemical cocktail. So we have hair dyes and vehicle exhaust, and then all sorts of heavy metals, everything from vaccines to the stuff we put in on our skin, cleansers and disinfectants, additives in our food and our medicine, cosmetics, cigarette smoke, industrial processes, pesticides, plastics, all the things. So bioaccumulation is also referred as body burden. It is the accumulated total of chemicals in the human body. So like I was saying, most women before breakfast are exposed to 180 chemicals. Yeah, before breakfast, and 300 by the end of the day. Because we use perfume, shampoo, we have maybe a fake tan, deodorant, nail polish, body lotion, foundation, lipstick, sunscreen, blush, eyeshadow, like all the things, hairspray. So continuous exposure and overloads are natural detoxification systems and leads to a buildup in our bodies. But we all say, but it's such a small amount. I've been using these items for years and I'm fine. Consider the effects of bioaccumulation. The body breaks down many of the toxins we are exposed to. Our bodies are smart. They can do a lot of things. Your kidney, your liver, your skin, these are all detoxifying organs, and they are capable of doing a lot of really great work. However, they can't do it all. Toxins cause extra stress on the liver as it tries to process these unnatural substances, and oftentimes we see reactions with the skin. So your skin is your body's last resort to trying to get rid of junk. So when you have a rash, that means that your kidneys and your liver are overburdened already, and now they're giving a last ditch effort to your skin. So when people have like eczema, like chronic rashes, I'm not talking like you went and walked into a thing of poison ivy and you got a rash. That's different. That's environmental. I'm talking toxic burden where you have a reoccurring rash that seemingly comes out of nowhere, and your skin is struggling with your skin. This is primarily a gut issue, which is then it's also a kidney and a liver and a skin issue. So consider your whole digestive and filtration system, kidney, liver, so on and so forth, your plumbing system. So if you have a plug somewhere along the way, if your liver's not working properly, if your kidney's not working properly, some of that, things start to like back up in the system, okay? And then at some point it's like the junk's got to come out. So it starts to seep into your bloodstream. And then your blood's going like, I don't know what to do with this. And so it pushes it out through your skin, through your cellular walls and out through your skin. So we really, really, really need to pay attention to what our bodies are trying to tell us. Skin is our largest organ also. So in the reverse, we need to make sure that what we put in it matters. So we need to make sure that the lotions that we put on, when you put a lotion on, you rub it in, and where does it go? It goes directly into your bloodstream as well, right? And so your skin is only like less than a quarter inch or less than a quarter inch thick, okay? So you need to make sure that you don't treat it like an armor, because it's not going to keep all the things out. It's semi-permeable. It's meant to keep you together, not to permanently shield you from your environment, which is why we all have to be diligent about what we are exposing ourselves to. So one of the problems that we have to keep in mind is the exposure to our small people. Now, a lot of us are moms or grandmas, and we have to realize that this is posing a big problem to our little people. We have to remember that children are not small adults. So relative to their size, children consume more food, more water, and more air than adults. They have hand-to-mouth behaviors. They may be less able than adults to expel certain toxins, and children are undergoing rapid growth and development. So what do? We have to have a chemical management plan. Let's review. Health Canada and Environment Canada are slowly assessing some 4,300 chemicals that have been categorized as posing a potential risk to human health and the environment. But what do we need to know? We need to know that companies must disclose ingredients and concentrations contained in any cosmetic. This is the rule, but not until 10 days after the product hits the market. This is absurd, people. So they can put the chemical in there, but they don't have to say what is in it until 10 days after it's hit the market. So silly. So we need to pay attention to our, I just gotta find where I'm at here. Okay. So that's why it's so important for us to educate ourselves, like what we're doing today, and find out what toxins we are regularly exposed to, ways to limit or reduce our exposure, and also use safe and effective alternative. But don't be overwhelmed. Educate yourself on ingredients to avoid. It's not enough to be aware, we must take action. Focus on the things you can control by replacing items you use most frequently, because when you know better, you do better. Okay, so we have to pay attention to our cosmetic labeling. We talked about these, and then our household cleaner labeling especially. So unlike cosmetics, the disclosure of ingredients is voluntary for the general consumer goods such as household cleaners. So cosmetic labeling is different than household cleaner labeling. I don't know about you, but the last time I looked at my regular household cleaners, like when I teach this class in person, I pass around like bottles of all the things. And you will notice there's hardly ever an ingredient list on the back of most cleaners. I had never paid attention to this before, but go ahead and grab your regular stuff and see if there's an ingredient list. Usually all there is like a poison symbol or something like that, but there's actually no list of because they don't have to. That's one of the reasons why I love Young Living, because they're a transparent company. They tell you what's in all of their products. I don't have to wonder. So we have to become aware, and then we have to take action. So what items are you exposed to in every day in the morning? Obviously, we went through this a little bit earlier, but shampoos, conditioners, deodorant, lotions, perfume. What are the regular household tasks you perform using products with potentially harmful chemicals? Most of us do dishes. We are wiping down, sinks and toilets. We are cleaning like all sorts of different things. We use chemicals all day long. We're putting on sunscreen on our kids. We're it's escaping me now, but lots of different things. Okay, and then of course, what's in the food that we eat? So all the processed foods, the aspartame, the MSG, what are we eating? What are we consuming? Those are all contributing to toxic burden if we're not being mindful. And then in your own life, ask yourself the question, which products do I need to take a closer look at the ingredients? So this is a quick list. You might want to screenshot this or jot down this because this is where you start. A lot of people are like, oh my gosh, this seems totally overwhelming because of like all the chemicals that I know I'm probably coming in contact with. Where do I start? This is where you start, friends. Okay. This is where I'm holding your hand and letting you know about the quick switches you can make. So first of all, we're going to replace the non-negotiables. Get rid of all the air fresheners because those are so bad for you. Those little Christmas trees you're putting in your car, say goodbye. Toothpaste. People don't realize how extremely toxic regular toothpaste is. Read the ingredients, which is on the box, not the actual thing. You'll be amazed. Hand or body soap, dish soap, household cleaners, laundry detergent, dryer sheets. Oh my gosh. Dryer sheets are so bad. And a lot of people you will hear are complaining that they have headaches or that perfumes make them sick. It's the dryer sheets. And then of course our food. Let's be really mindful of the food that we eat. So how do we know what to replace them with? Which products can we trust? Read the labels, friends. And then, of course, we have a company called Young Living that most of us have been exposed to now, but Young Living is not just an essential oils company. They are a wellness company. That's what they were designed to do, was to create products that would help us to grow in wellness, purpose, and abundance. And the reason we can trust Young Living is because they have a seed to seal promise. And so they promise that they will offer basically completely free of toxins from the seed to the cultivation, to the distillation, to the testing, and to the sealing. There is no contamination. They have your utmost health in mind. They are transparent in their ingredient list. They are sustainable in their cultivation practices. They are environmentally safe for all parties and socially responsible. If you ever want to look up Young Living Sustainability Plan, you can look up their 5x5 pledge. So there are 5 areas that they are pledging to be environmentally sustainable within 5 years. And they're big goals. And Young Living already has accomplished quite a few of them. So yay. This was something that came out, I believe, 2 years ago, and they're doing really well according to their plan. Okay, so let me talk about some of the products that we have available. So the one that is completely revolutionary is our Thieves line. Thieves is a proprietary powerhouse essential oil blend. So it started as an essential oil blend containing cinnamon, lemon, rosemary, clove, and eucalyptus globulus. Now, if you don't know what the story is with the Thieves, I'll quickly give you a rundown. So when the Great Plague ravaged Europe and thousands of people were dying all over the place, there was a group of spice merchants that were traveling through the city. And when the city got quarantined and nobody was allowed to come in and nobody was allowed to go out, people started dying off. But there was these spice merchants that started stealing from among the dead. And so the king's guard took these spice merchants before the king to be basically reprimanded for stealing from among the dead. But when they were brought before the king said, like, how is it that you guys escaped the plague? And they said, well, we knew that if we anointed ourselves with our herbs and our essential oils and spices, that we would be immune from the plague. The king said, tell you what, give me your recipe and I'll let you off the hook. And so they gave the recipe, and the recipe was cinnamon, lemon, rosemary, clove, eucalyptus, globulus. And so they've affectionately named it Thieves. So the Thieves line contains powerful and toxic and chemical free products, such as an all-in-one concentrated household cleaner. This replaces your Windex, your Mr. Clean, your Clorox wipes, like all the things. And it's plant-based. It's safe enough for you to drink, but it's completely capable of wiping out. It's antimicrobial, antibacterial, and just super, super effective. In our H.O.P.E team page, if our Facebook page, if you go there and you type out Thieves Cleaner Experiment, you will see my friend Karen did this really cool experiment where she took food grade kind of like cleaning tubes and basically went around a toilet and used for restaurants to make sure when inspectors go to make sure that restaurants are completely clean, they use these little like tubes basically, and they swipe and then they put the lid back on and they shake it in a solution, and then it tells you if it's got bacteria or something in it that's not safe, so that they can condemn the restaurant or tell them to clean up their act, right? Anyhow, she does this experiment, and the first time she just swipes the toilet bowl, and of course it's like got all the grossness, and then she cleans it using Thieves and then wipes it again, and it's totally clean, no bacteria, nothing. It's pretty amazing. Okay, next we have oral care products. So we have the Thieves mouthwash, the Thieves toothpaste, and the Thieves spray. So this little bottle here is great for just on the go freshness as well. And then we have dish soap and hand soap and a laundry detergent. We also have a dishwasher soap, which is available for our US friends or for Canadians to buy on the NFR market. And you can also use the dishwasher soap because it's granulated. If your washing machine prefers granulated instead of a liquid detergent, laundry detergent, you can use the dishwasher soap as well. Okay. Little tip there. So we also have a whole line of personal care products. So we have the Art line, and now we have the Bloom skincare system. So these are cleansers, toners, lotions, skin brightening serums, masks, but beautiful, beautiful line of chemical and toxic free personal care products. We have, of course, the Savvy makeup line, and it's got all the things: liquid and powder foundations, concealers, blush, mascara, everything you could possibly want in a makeup line. And then we have hair care products, of course, which are like your shampoos, your conditioners, your hair serum. The hair serum is called Mara, and I love it because I always have like my ends are dry, but my top's kind of oily. So I just put a little bit in my hand and with wet hair, just put them in my hair and blow dry it, and it's beautiful. Then we have shaving oils as well. So these are great for men for their faces or for women for our legs and other places. And then, of course, we have our Ningxia Red line. Woo, woo! This one's life-changing. If you do not have Ningxia in your life, you are not really living. I tell you this much. People always wonder, like, what the heck? You have 7 kids, you run a business, do all the things. I'm like, yeah, and I have a secret sauce. It's like Jesus and Ningxia Red. No joke. So Ningxia Red for me is a powerful antioxidant whole food nutrition drink. It's made from the Ningxia wolfberry, which is like the goji berry, but this is goji berry on steroids. This is not the kind that's like in Venezuela or whatever. This is the one produced in China that Young Living has exclusive rights to. And the reason that it's like goji berry on steroids is because of the altitude at which it's produced. Now, for those of us that live in Canada, this is also a really good tip. So our fruit And our berries actually have a higher antioxidant level than the ones grown in California because our climate is so severe. And when the plant is stressed, it has to produce more antioxidants. And those antioxidants land in our fruit. Yay for us. Same thing for the Ningxia wolfberry that is produced in northern China. It's also almost the same latitude as Canada. It's also a colder region, higher stress for the plant, better quality product for us. Yay. We also have the Zing, which is an energy drink. Get rid of the monster drinks and replace it with this. It's super refreshing and it works really well to help you focus and be mentally alert. We also have an ancient nutrition line. So we have Gary's Einkorn True Grit. So True Grit Einkorn, we have Einkorn Flakes and Einkorn Granola and Einkorn gluten-free waffle mix and regular Einkorn flour mix. So what is Einkorn and like what's the big deal? Okay, this is the big deal. Our wheat has been genetically modified to have a shorter stalk, so there's less garbage at the end once they harvest, right? And it is like a more sustainable crop in the sense that it's more pest resistant or whatever because it's been genetically modified. Now, the original wheat that would have been produced prior to our, laboratory extravaganzas would have literally been like the regular wheat would have been about 5 feet tall. So as you're walking through a wheat field, the stalks would be very, very high. And that would have been einkorn. Now, einkorn at a nutritional level and at a chromosome level is very different than wheat. So your chromosomes are kind of like a cog wheel, okay? They're like this. And ideally, you have your food and you have your chromosomes. And ideally, these work really nicely in within the other and everything works lovely. The problem is your body only has 16 of these to break down foods. Einkorn has 16, okay? So this is to break down glutens and that sort of a thing. So 16 and 16 works, no problem. Our genetically modified wheat has 32. So now what you're trying to get is like this and so on and so forth, because you're trying to squeeze 32 into a 16 cog. Not working so well, which is why it causes massive inflammation in our bodies. So a lot of people that are gluten sensitive, not gluten intolerant, we're not talking celiacs here. We're talking just those of us that get bloated after eating gluten or whatever. We can tolerate einkorn so much better. And it doesn't bother us at all. So if this is one of your issues, if you feel like you're 5 months pregnant after having a piece of bread or a cinnamon bun or something like that, try using einkorn flour. I promise you it will be a world of difference. Okay, we have healthy snacking bars and lots of other things. You just check your catalog or your product guide that came with your premium starter kit, or you can purchase one for $2 off of the Young Living site as well. Or you can go ahead and check out issue.com, type in Young Living Canada 2020, and you can check out the online version of it as well. So a lot of people say, Kate, I love the idea of using natural products, but I'm on a budget. Understandable. But here's the thing. Don't spend more, just spend better. So in 2014, Canadian households spent over $1,100 on products with chemicals that may be making us sicker. Additionally, to stay healthy, Canadian households spent an average $1,900 on direct health care and non-prescribed medicine. So if we don't do this, friends, we will be able to save ourselves a lot of money because we're paying on the front end instead of paying on the back end. So your health is going to, you either have to pay for it on the front end or you have to pay for it on the back end. So what happens is you may pay a little bit more on the front end, but then you're not paying and having to pay for sick leave. You're not having to have the inconvenience of being sick, of spreading it to the rest of your family, and so on and so forth. And the other thing is, honestly, nowadays, the products that you're paying on the shelf and the products from Young Living are almost more and more as the years go by on par. What you have to remember is that a lot of Young Living products can be diluted. So first, for example, our cleaner is $27, okay, to buy our Thieves cleaner. And you're thinking like, oh my gosh, a little bottle of Thieves cleaner, well, it's not too little, you know, this big. I can get a lot, you know, I can get Mr. Clean or whatever for $5 or $6. Yes, but a half a cap of our Thieves household cleaner in a spray bottle is the same amount of money as your Mr. Clean, except it's literally like $1.25. So instead of paying $4 for your Mr. Clean, now you're only paying $1.25. It's better for you. You're not going to get sick. You're not environmentally burdening your whole family and your kids and all the people. So, all right. The other bonus thing is Young Living has this amazing essential rewards program. Now, this is a points program that we have, and it's a loyalty program, and it's the best way for those of us that are serious about ditching and switching, so ditching our toxic products and switching to healthy ones. It's a total no-brainer. So within a quick 12 months, you will significantly reduce the impact of toxic chemicals in your home by simply using or trying one or two new things on your Essential Rewards program. So it's easy. Try a new product every month. Join the Essential Rewards program right away and start replacing. It's all about small, simple changes. By consistently replacing a few products each month, you can easily reduce the impact of toxic chemicals. So what are you waiting for? A year from now, you will wish that you had started today. So that's the class for tonight, friends. Again, this is available on your virtual office, and you can go ahead and print this off, no problem, or go ahead and teach this class to your friends using this PowerPoint that is free to download. And I will happily take a few questions if you would like. Otherwise, I want to thank you so much for your time. We have another class coming up. It's going to be on supplements and Ningxia Red. So I will put the date and the link for the Eventbrite tickets in your email. For those of you that bought tickets for tonight's class, I'm going to send it to you in that email. Okay, so stay tuned, check your inbox, and we will talk to you soon. So thank you so much, everybody, for your time. And yeah, bye for now. See you later.